Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, hello, it is lovely to meet you. My name's Georgie. I am 27 from the north of England and I am a mummy to a beautiful little girl called Eloise. She is just over 1 and I have a fiance, which is her father. So yesterday I put out a video about weaning her onto cow's milk protein following a diagnosis of having an allergy. And I mentioned that I would be doing a video at some point in the future of the soya ladder that we're going to be moving on to. And I thought, well, since I'm on the right mindset, I will go ahead and get that video done today. So, for those of you who haven't seen the previous video and just want to learn about the soya and our experiences with the soya, I will very briefly go through what's been going on. So Eloise, when she was born, she suffered really badly with constipation, gas, like stuck gas, really bad eczema, really bad cradle cap. So we had a few treatments going on. Took a while to get diagnosed, but eventually she was diagnosed as having a cow's milk protein allergy. So we came off the traditional formula. I couldn't breastfeed because she didn't produce the milk and she couldn't latch, so we had no other choice but to go for formula. So we followed the dietitian's advice, went on to the new milk, got through all of that and started weaning her as recommended at 4 months. A couple of months after we started weaning, we started just on like carrot puree, pea puree, you know, that sort of thing. Once we had gotten to eating more of the proper meals and having like proper snacks and that sort of thing, when she was 7 months-ish, 8 months maybe, around that sort of time, we found that her eczema was really playing up and she was starting to get really uncomfortable with herself. And so we rang the dietitians back and said, look, we know that there's a possibility that she could have become allergic to the milk that she's on, or that there could be something else going on. Our GPs have given us Piriton just to calm down what the allergy issues that are happening to her and to make her a bit more comfortable, but we need a bit of advice. So they suggested, rather than changing the milk, to try her off soya first, just for a few weeks, and then if that didn't work, we'll try changing her milk, because she's not quite up to the point of coming off formula. So you don't, in the UK, you're not recommended to come off formula until your child is 1 year old. And having a good diet. So we tried her completely off soya and everything cleared up really quickly. So we know that was the problem. She has a delayed type of allergic reaction. She has to both the soya and the cow's milk protein. So it says roughly 2 hours to 3 days you get a reaction after. Eloise is more around the 2 to 3 days that she gets a reaction. So we got given a little information pack and I'm just going to go through the steps because the steps are slightly more specific than the cow's milk protein. The cow's milk is introducing it gradually with like baked goods and then off the baked goods to like processed goods to then cow's milk. But the soya, you have to look for, step 1 is soya, oh my goodness, lecithin. I might be saying this completely wrong. I can put all the steps down in the description. So it's in things like ice cream wafers, cones, ice cream cones, oat sachets, some types of rusks, Pombears, Nesquik chocolate flavoured, dairy-free buttons, and that is like the easiest soya to digest and process in the body. Then, so we'll try that for 3 days or longer. We tend to try Eloise for about a week because we know a reaction comes at about day 3. So we don't move her up any quicker than a week. Sometimes we go a little longer, sometimes it's just the week, depending on how her body is doing. So stage 2 is baked soya in a flour matrix. So things like rich tea, digestive biscuits. Now digestive biscuits actually don't have soya in them, unless you're looking maybe at the chocolate ones or the nut ones or something, but the plain digestive biscuits actually don't have any soya in, because she's been having those as a snack as part of the milk weaning. Slice of bread containing soya flour, so there's those. Again, try her, see how she gets on. Now what I forgot to say is, with step 1, what we were advised is that if she fails or gets a reaction from step 1, take her back off soya, try again in 6 months. If you get on to step 2 when she has a reaction, take her back to step 1, give her a month, and then retry her, and so on through the rest of the steps. It's only stage 1 that's slightly different. So moving on to stage 3 is fermented foods containing soya, cooked. So like teriyaki sauce, miso soup. That one we're going to have to play around a little bit with and see what we can find. Stage 4 is well cooked soya in other foods, so like lasagna or fish pie with soya milk and soya cheese, pizzas or pastas with soya toppings. That'd be nice and easy. Soya nuts. Stage 5 is whole soya foods lightly cooked, so stir-fried tofu, vegetarian sausages, veggie burgers, soya custard, those sorts of things. So that'll be a little bit easier, those 2 steps. And then finally stage 6 is whole soya foods uncooked, so like soya yogurt, soya milk. So that'll be really good, and then we can introduce her to other foods that contain soya, a bit like we do with the cow's milk. So we are very apprehensive about starting her on the soya weaning, because we found that the milk allergy was to do with her inside digestive system, and it caused the discomfort, but it didn't bother her too much, if that makes sense. We've actually found that the thing that bothered her the most is the eczema, because it's very itchy and she pulls at her skin, she pulls at clothes, she wants to be naked quite a lot of the time. So that's more distressing for her, is the rashes and the eczema. So we are quite apprehensive, plus that's a more recent development rather than the milk allergy. She was diagnosed quite young. So we are planning on starting that hopefully before the summer holidays, hopefully not too long after Easter, but we'll have to see how we get going with the milk ladder. So at the moment we are on stage 4, so we've got stage 4, 5 and 6 to complete, and then we're going to give her a month or so where her body can just rest. We can introduce her to some other nice things that contain milk, like proper chocolate. You know, it's going to be around Easter time, and that sort of thing, and then we're going to move her onto the soya ladder. I'll try and keep you guys updated with how things are going. So yeah, we're excited to get her hopefully onto a full unrestricted diet. We fully are aware and we completely understand that there is a possibility that she may not be able to have a full complete diet, and that's absolutely fine. We will cater to whatever she needs, and we will make sure that she's not without or left out or anything like that as she gets older into school, that sort of thing. Something else with the ladders are, some children don't deal with it at 1. Some children have to wait till 3, and some I believe wait till 5, and then some people obviously just don't grow out of it, but the majority of children do grow out of it by the time they're 1 year old. So fingers crossed is one of those, but if not, that's absolutely fine. You know, it is what it is, and we just get on with it and deal with it. Dealing with her eczema at the moment, so she's completely off soya, but she does still have eczema flare-ups depending on the weather. When she's trying new milk-based products, we have found for us that whenever she, like every single day she has a bath, because she gets really dry skin, so we have a bath, and while she's wet we put in her cream. So 3 weeks out of the month we are using Child's Farm in her bath for bath bubbles, lotion and shampoo and body wash. And then 1 week out of the month we used something called Hydromol. It's a really thick emollient, I believe it is. It was prescribed to us by the GPs, and use it as shampoo, you can use it as moisturiser, you can use it as like a bath emollient. It's like a bath cream sort of thing. So you put it under the running water like you would do for bubble baths, and it just sort of makes the water a little bit more slippery, a bit more greasy. And we find that really helps to keep on top of her eczema as well, really nicely. So we'll use that in the bath. We tend to use the Child's Farm still for a shampoo, because of the weaning with everything, her poo tends to smell quite strong. So having that little bit of extra scent just helps to keep her smelling nice and fresh. Because, you know, she's one. She doesn't need any of the negative comments. Not that we really see people, but we will hopefully soon. And then when she gets out the bath, we use the Hydromol on her Hydromol week, and then the Child's Farm, just the unscented or the lightly fragranced lotion for the other 3 weeks of the month. And we find that that is really helping. She has Piriton, not regularly. She has it as and when she needs it if she comes up with a reaction. She's also kind of prone to flare-ups with different temperatures, so we had a particularly warm night the other night and she came up with a really bad heat rash all over her tummy, shoulders, back, going up her neck and into her hair. So we used some Piriton, stripped her off, gave her a nice cool shower, and through the day it sorted itself out, thankfully. So yeah, we do have Piriton in the house, and it does get given to her as and when she needs it, like Calpol, as and when she needs it. Now, we are also aware that I have got hypermobile EDS, and believe that I have MCAS, I think it's called, mast cell activation syndrome, and that is where I will have something and my body will just create a mass immune response. So I'll come out with like hives, I'll be sick, and I just sort of know what I can and can't eat, and I have actually started trying myself on things that I can't have, and thankfully I'm starting to grow out of it a little bit with some foods and things, but there is still things that I can't have, like ibuprofen I can't have because it messes up my stomach. So we are aware that Eloise may have sensitivities and things like I do, and that's absolutely fine. You know, I tend to prepare and cook the meals in the house, so I know what she's having, and I know that most things that we have are nice and fresh and healthy, and we will just plod on, keep going and see how we end out. Yeah, so if anybody has got any questions or can offer any advice, that'd be greatly appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye.